issue facing America is the most important to you?
What bikini I'm gonna wear next? Obesity?
Okay.
It's terrible.
Ice. Not personally. I'm legal.
Getting a tan.
I love this dude. He's like, ice, but not me. I'm legal. Thank you for clarifying, dude. For our media story, we're going to cover something a little bit different, a little bit funny, but also debatably a little deep. I guess we could talk about it. There's very different perspectives, and I have sort of mixed feelings on it, but there's this clip going viral from Fox News where Jesse Waters sent his producer Johnny to talk to Gen Zers on spring break, so like college students who are on their spring break, and interview them. And I mean, some of the resulting clips are just absurd. Like, they're really funny. They're so ignorant. They have no idea what's going on in the world. And it sparked this debate about whether that's okay or whether that's bad. And I have mixed feelings on it, but ultimately, I do think the lack of basic literacy and like civic knowledge is concerning. Anyway, here's the headline from the New York Post. TV reporter finds the dumbest spring breakers in America. Quote, who the is Ayatollah? The article reads, these spring breakers need to go back to school. Fox News managed to find some of the most clueless revelers in America in a series of Florida beach interviews on Jesse Waters Primetime Monday. The Ayatollah, these kids never heard of him. Is the U.S. at war with Iraq or Iran? Who can say? We got the clip here. We'll just watch some of it, and I'll probably give you some of my commentary as we go along, because some of this is beyond parody.
What issue facing America is the most important to you?
What bikini I'm gonna wear next? Obesity?
Okay.
It's terrible.
Ice. Not personally. I'm legal.
Getting a tan.
I love this dude. He's like, ice, but not me. I'm legal. Thank you for clarifying, dude. I do like the girl who's like, what bikini I'm gonna wear next. I mean, good for you for not caring at all, I guess, about the world or the country. It's okay. Like, this is what I mean. We'll get into this more. I'm torn between like two voices on my shoulder. One is saying it's good. They shouldn't stress out about stuff that's totally beyond their control and like just endlessly obsess over it. But there's probably also a middle ground where like you should know what's going on with your country, especially if you're going to vote, and especially when you pay taxes, and you should know basic facts and be informed. But they're like, I guess the other side of this is the people who obsess over politics, let it drive them crazy, even though they can't control it, and become like very rancid and toxic and hyper online. And then these people many of them seem to have just totally checked out and not know anything about what's going on. And that's also bad. I don't know.
Getting a tan on the beach. That's the most important thing in my life right now. I'm thinking about Starbucks, to be honest. I'm thinking about Starbucks, what I'm gonna get for today.
Honestly, that's iconic. To be like, what's the biggest problem in America, or what's the issue facing America? And you're like, I'm just thinking about what Starbucks I'm gonna get that day. Me too, girly. Though probably not Starbucks, probably something a little better than that.
Yeah, for today.
The elevators don't work. You got 43 floors. The elevators don't work.
Oh, so true, King.
Water, drop it in the magnets. That's the end of the elevator.
Don't get me started on elevators, y'all, because the elevators in my building were down for months, and I crashed out over it multiple times because like this building is not cheap. Okay, and we should have functioning elevators.
What have you heard that Donald Trump has been doing recently?
Gulf of America. That's the last thing I kept up with. We're going.
Girl, that was forever ago. She's like, the last thing I heard about was him changing the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Wasn't that literally like the first couple months of his I think that was almost a year ago. And in the meantime, it's not like anything big has happened since then. A part of you has to respect a little bit the shamelessness of these people. They really don't seem embarrassed, whereas they probably should be a little embarrassed.
Going to war with Iraq. That's been crazy.
Oh my God, she just said war with Iraq. Oh, see, I feel a little bad beating up on these kids too much, though they are college students at universities where they pay freaking $50,000-$60,000 a year, some of them, and they just still don't know anything and they emerge totally uneducated citizens. But on the flip side, they're kind of drunk. Though I've been drunk, not a lot. I don't drink a lot, but I don't just instantly know nothing because I'm drunk. But sure, that's part of it. And then two, these compilations are always edited and cut out all the people who actually did know stuff. So I'm not sure you can draw too much sweeping conclusions about everybody involved or like the whole generation. But then again, some of the polling on civic literacy suggests that ignorance is in fact widespread. While these videos are cherry-picked, there is a reason to believe there is a much broader problem. And it's not great if you literally don't know what country we're at war with. I don't know. Not great.
Crazy.
What do you do in Colombia? You got Maduro out?
Oh yeah, Colombia.
Done.
He's like trying to sue those people for making jokes about him.
600 times!
You must be happy.
I'm very happy.
The Ayatollah's dead.
I'm so. What? Who? What?
What is that?
Who the is Ayatollah?
How I find this, I mean, I understand that there are lots of people who are this checked out from politics, but it's like I just spiritually can't relate to it at all. It's such big news when they invaded Iran and killed the Ayatollah. It's not like there are entire news cycles that I totally understand most people can never notice when they aren't busy. But these people are on, presumably, a lot of them are on social media and different apps all the time. And you're telling me you somehow missed us killing the supreme leader of Iran and you don't even know who that is or what the quote, like what the is Ayatollah is an iconic line. And that guy actually seems sweet when you watch more of him in the clips, but it's just like, bless your heart, these people can vote. Like, I do find it funny because Clarkson, my co-host over on the Normal Gays podcast, he always beats himself up about not having a college degree. And I'm like, don't. People can pay $60,000 a year to get a piece of paper and they still don't know. Some of them are really smart, but so are some people without degrees. It's like it really doesn't signal much about your general level of education or knowledge to have a bachelor's degree from some university today at all. Clearly.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Lewis, what's Ayatollah?
I haven't heard. I found out about Chuck Norris yesterday. That was more devastating to me.
He was the supreme leader.
I love that you haven't heard about the Ayatollah being killed, but you did hear about Chuck Norris passing away. Rest in peace. It's just like one of these things is significantly more important than the other. That's not shade to Chuck Norris. I don't know, man.
Leader of Iran. He's dead?
Oh, yeah.
We killed him.
You did? You killed him?
Johnny,
Whoa! If you were in charge, how would you take on Iran?
Yeah, all my girls and we would all start putting belts on them.
A bunch of girls in bikinis, we make them run across the battlefield. All the guys are distracted. We all run in.
Look at him in his eyes, I guess. Flirt with him.
I'd blow them up.
I don't know enough about it, but I would probably wipe it out.
Drop a bomb, baby. Bomb the out of him.
I would bomb the out of him.
What have you heard about Venezuela?
Venezuela? Nothing.
I'm not sure.
I barely know what'll be going on in like Tennessee where I'm from.
That they beat us in the World Baseball Classic?
Have you heard anything else?
No.
Nothing. I have heard nothing about Venezuela.
You know, honestly, I don't know and I don't care.
Where is Venezuela?
I don't know. I'm drunk. I don't know. Venezuela? Isn't that in Spain?
No.
Go easy on the tequila.
I'm gonna turn it off there. I do love the last check. She's like doing the accent. She's like Venezuela, and then she's like still doesn't know what the continent on. I don't know. I give these people. I'm not gonna say I give them a pass because I don't. I give them a little bit of grace for the fact that they were clearly very intoxicated. But like you should know basic things, and it's concerning to me that so many people don't. It is. And obviously there's something about this style of content that is not charitable, that paints people in the worst light. But there's also like, there's just no editing that could ever make, no like out of context editing that could ever make an informed person look that bad. I don't know, but it did prompt this interesting discourse. I'll read you kind of people with either perspective, some takes online. Thomas Chatterton Williams, a left of center writer, wrote on a tweet, "A lot of the problems in the world right now can be explained by this video. For one thing, it's a big reason why the US government is so unaccountable to public opinion. These are college students. A significant amount of the country is totally checked out and comfortable enough not to think it matters." I'm sorry, I'm sympathetic to this. Now, I'm also sympathetic to some of the counterpoints that are being made about this, but it's like the founders of our nation and the authors of our Constitution really did assume that there would be an educated and engaged citizenry. And part of me can understand why people totally check out, because the world is so bleak and you can't control the things that are happening. But it just feels irresponsible when so much is happening, and it does let them get away with more when so many people are checked out. I really am sympathetic to that critique. Now, the counterpoint that some people have offered, like the conservative think tanker Jesse Arm, he wrote on a tweet, "Counterpoint, these kids are more or less fine. They're drunkenly enjoying their spring break. Better to be socializing and partying with friends in real life than doom scrolling on X in isolation and hyperventilating about how awful America is." I understand that perspective a little bit, that like they're just drunk, they're just enjoying their spring break. At least they're not, extremists. But it's like and they're not like obsessively on TikTok, and they don't think that we're still in a COVID pandemic and that America is the great Satan of the world and that we need communism. Like, sure, but those also aren't the only options. Like, it's also possible to just still be a normal person who doesn't obsess over politics, yet maintain a minimum level of knowledge and being informed about the things going on in the country that you live in, which has the most powerful government in all of human history that you're forced to fund. I can't quite get on board with that defense of these folks. But listen, these videos are always cherry picked. The people are quite drunk. I agree. It's good to not be obsessively addicted to politics and news on social media like many people are, but I'm still not letting these kids totally off the hook, because the level of ignorance is astonishing to me. And I am convinced that it's a widespread problem. It's not just a couple of crazy drunk apples.